Mr. Vice Chairman, sir, the purpose of this piece of legislation is to amend the Payment of Wages Act 1936. Sir, Section 6 of the original Act talks about wages to be paid in current coin or currency notes. It says that all wages shall be paid in current coin or currency notes or in both. This is what the original act says. This act was amended in 1976 by inserting one clause that the employer may, after obtaining the written authorization of the employed person, pay him the wages either by check or by crediting the wages in his bank account. That is what the amendment says. Now we are trying to amend this act further. The present amendment says all wages shall be paid in current coin or currency notes or by check or by crediting the wages in the bank account of the employee, provided that the appropriate government may, by notification in the official gazette, specify the industrial or other establishment the employer of which shall pay to every person employed in such industrial or other establishment the wages only by check or crediting the wages in his bank account. Sir, while discussing this amendment, we should keep in mind certain other factors also. Minister must clarify whether it is applicable to only organized sector or it is also applicable to the informal sector or the unorganized sector. The minister should make this clear. If it is applicable to the organized sector, then what is the preparedness? Are we in a position to implement this amendment? Parliament can pass this, but Parliament should be realistic. Can it be implemented at this given point of time or in the coming period? Why I am asking this is because at present the banking sector is in crisis. What is the condition of rural banks? Are rural banks effective? Do they have network across the country? Please try to convince us, convince the parliament, because you have taken the route of ordinance. Maybe the constitution allow this, but at the same time we have a very vibrant parliament is supreme. You must take parliament into confidence. Maybe you are in power today, tomorrow somebody else will be in power, but parliament should be taken into confidence as it represents the collective will of the people. So I am asking, when you propose this amendment, do you think it can be implemented now? If it is so, then why are you proposing this amendment? It is because of the condition of the rural banks. They are in crisis and the employees are agitating at all the time. They cannot function effectively. The cooperative banks are also in crisis. They do not have adequate capital in the entire banking sector. There is no adequate recruitment. What is rate of recruitment of employees in the banks? Without adequate bank branches across the country, without adequate number of bank employees, how can you impose this? How can you implement this? This is one thing. The other is, if it is applicable to unorganized sector, there are problems. One is of agricultural workers. There is a demand. It is an old demand. I repeat it. The demand is agricultural workers want a central legislation so that they get identity, they get all social security benefits, everything, but we do not have a central legislation for agricultural workers. How long can we continue like this? There is no legislation to cover a substantial working population of our country, that is the agricultural labor workers. Look at the living conditions of agricultural worker in this country. I am not bringing other social factors, I am bringing the economic factors. What is their wage, what is their pension, whether they have homes, houses to live in, and what social security have they got? So why cannot you think of bringing a central legislation for agricultural workers? Now I am raising another issue which is related to migrant laborers. They move from one state to another. My colleague from Uttar Pradesh was mentioning that Uttar Pradesh workers are migrating to other states, but I keep seeing workers from Odisha, from Bengal and Bihar working in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and several other parts of the country. Now, do these migrant workers have adequate protection? Sir, the unorganized workers do not have identity cards. That itself is a problem. They shift from one job to another job according to job availability. They move from one profession to other according to availability of that employment. They are migrant laborers. They are not even able to exercise the right to vote because they don't have their proper migrant workers card, identity card. The labor ministry must have come across to this problem. I keep meeting several social organizations and civic societies. They all raise their issues. Sir, after a big struggle in some states, the construction workers get the identity card, construction workers card. But what about BD workers and had load workers. There are problems, sir. Some unions give it